Thanks for tuning in to the Prosperity for America channel. Today's topic is, you just got laid off. Now what? What do you do? What do I do? How do you go about finding a way to make a living, get a good job, and do it fast? All right. So we're going to talk about that. One of the things about having a successful career is, generally speaking, you always want to be having a direction, and you want to be moving in a way that you are growing into a career that will have long-term good prospects for you. What people a lot of times do when they get laid off, and I've looked at tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of resumes over the last 30 years, is they just simply dive for the next job and just to make sure they can pay bills. And totally, I think there isn't anybody that's not worried about that in life at some point. So we all run into it. But what you can do though is fight off some of those concerns just a little bit, just so enough so we get your presence of your mind to just think about what to do. So let's talk about that. Pick any position that we can talk about. It doesn't matter, but let's just pretend you're a mechanical designer, okay, or maybe you're a lab tech, or maybe you're a person who assembles things in a factory. All right, the experience that you have so far in life has value. All right, so one of the things you don't really want to do is jump around from total changes in how you make a living. So if you get laid off from a mechanical designer or a lab tech job, you really don't want to go to work in a restaurant the next day, unless you really want to not promote that's what you're doing. What you really want to do is go online and do some quick searches on things, companies, and jobs that kind of are in line with what you've been doing. Don't assume that just because your company got laid off, you got laid off from your company, that whole industry is slow. Like if they're in the automotive industry, it doesn't mean that maybe every company in the automotive industry is slow. There are companies that do better than others during recessions, if that's what's causing the layoff. Right now, we're not in a recession, but we're having what I would call a higher degree of churn in the economy, where more people are getting laid off, but yet there's jobs out there that you could find. So what you want to do is, okay, I got laid off. I've been doing this for the last 3 years, and I've enjoyed it. I know how to do it. Take a quick look at who else makes or does what your company did that you were at. Take a run at seeing if they have a need, and that's even if they're not posting the job as open. In other words, maybe call up the company and I'll just use the proverbial widget, call up another widget manufacturer and say, hey, I've been putting together the gearbox for a widget for the last 10 years, and I know you make widgets. Do you happen to need somebody that's experienced in doing that? And you may be surprised. They might say, well, hang on, because when we need to go find someone, they're hard for us to find. Or we've got somebody that's going to be retiring in the next month or two. Maybe we should be planning ahead for that. I know it takes a little more courage to call the company. And of course, you'd probably want to call HR to start off with. But also nowadays, a wonderful thing is you could look online and go to LinkedIn and maybe figure out who in that company would probably be your boss. And if not that, your boss's boss. So like, for example, in a production facility, you might look at who's a production supervisor. And you might have to go one layer up to maybe the production manager or the operations manager, because they'll know what their needs of that company are going to be coming up. And so if you would just simply call them up, and maybe you could find them online on LinkedIn is a great source for that. And then what you do is you call them up and you ask them. That's really all a recruiter does. That's what we do, for a living as a professional recruiting firm, is we find people jobs. And now, a recruiting firm, like we'll tend to work on engineering and we'll work on IT stuff and management positions because it's a very specialized need and they need a recruiting firm. But if you're a person that's making a living and you're not an engineer, I really encourage you to take heart and take a shot at this. And you could always just simply email them your resume, all right? A lot of companies have on their website a place where you could just simply apply. I would say that just, if nothing else, send that company that does the same thing as the company that you used to work for. Send them, if they're local to you, of course. I'm not advocating to send all over the country. Just, send them your resume, apply to their system online, and see what happens. So basically, that's one quick step is to stay within the realm of what you've been doing and see if you could just catch the next position that will take you to a little better place as fast as possible. And it means you would have to be a bit proactive, all right? And but really, people really are nice about that kind of thing. And quite frankly, like I said, you could always just email the resume in, all right, and apply to their company website. A lot of companies have websites that say join us or apply here, and there's no harm in doing that at all. Now, the next thing you could do is really just go to Google. Google is a really amazing tool, as we all know. And what you'd want to do is just type in looking for a position as a quality inspector near me. Just that simple. If you do that, Google will do a wonderful thing that just 5-10 years ago wouldn't have happened, and that is it'll show you whatever the source was. In other words, whether it was Indeed or Career Builder or Monster, it'll tell you whatever positions are posted for quality inspectors within a radius of your home, and you specify, near me. All right. Now that does mean that you have to let Google know where you are. So that might be a setting that you might need to turn on temporarily. Or what you could do is simply say near your zip code, 440 whatever, 44060. Whatever your zip code is, type in quality inspection jobs near 44062 and see what Google comes up with. And you probably will see positions there listed, and if there's 10 positions there, you'll see them from Indeed and all that kind of thing, as well as Monster, maybe local job boards, and you might even find the company website might show up where they're advertising it themselves. I really want to just emphasize to you that it just takes some time, develop a strategy, and try to go and stay in what you're doing. It should be the quickest way for you to find a job, and it should be the quickest way for you to find a job where you don't have to take a pay cut to learn some new profession. And also, it won't look like lost time on your resume down the road. And the other thing you could do is do some quick research on the company, just to make sure you know that they're doing well. I just been doing this for a long time, and my heart goes out to people that are in a situation where, holy cow, I got laid off today and I don't know what to do. Give it your best. Please do come to the Prosperity for America channel. We've got videos on how to interview more effectively for different types of positions, and also just how to interview more effectively in general. We've got videos on how to get a better result for your resume. They're all there so that we could help anyone that's looking for a new position in our great country. So that's the Prosperity for America channel on YouTube. I really would encourage you to subscribe. Have a great day. Looking for a technical professional or operations management position? Visit prosperity.jobs. For tips on how to get a better response to your resume online, or how to interview more effectively to have a more prosperous career, visit the Prosperity for America channel on YouTube. Prosperity, it's what we all want.